the welterweight matchup between Jorge Masvidal and Nate Diaz for the title of the baddest motherfucker in the game, which was presented by Dwayne The Rock Johnson, which was just amazing all the way around. First off, what do you guys think of the belt? I actually thought it was really good design. Jalen, thoughts on the belt? No? No thoughts.
Is that me?
Yeah, whatever you guys.
Oh shoot, my bad. Your
You're
audio was
good.
cutting out again.
Ah, shit. I'll edit.
Did you say something about the belt?
Yeah, like, what were your thoughts about the belt?
I thought they looked like it was a Raiders belt, so I was a big fan of it. Looked like they was very Raiders inspired,
Yeah, it's
black
ugly
and
as fuck,
silver.
and it's just home to a bunch of losers, isn't it?
You know what though? It wasn't as cool as I thought it was gonna look.
What were you kind of
That's true.
expecting?
I don't know. I don't really know what I was expecting. I guess I was kind of expecting more glitz and glamour. It just kind of looked more like kind of matte. You know, it was like very sleek and just almost like the bare minimum in my opinion. I mean, don't get me wrong, it still looked pretty cool. Like the color scheme for sure, that's like a bad motherfucker belt.
The nice
But
gray, kind of like a charcoal to it.
I wouldn't have minded them going a little more WWE though and just making it look fucking outlandish, you know, just
Would
like
you
some
s-
Yeah,
skulls on there
definitely.
or some shit.
They
or
should have
just
done
some-
something
I
like
was
that
more
old school.
expecting.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was definitely more expecting more of a different design than the actual belt.
just
I thought they were
BMF
gonna.
in the middle, like come on.
Yeah, I thought they were really gonna. I thought they were gonna go all out. They kind of made it seem as if it was like a whole new belt itself.
Uh-huh.
This belt kind of just looked like they changed the color of the actual belt and put BMF instead of UFC.
Man, if we're talking that WWE route, let's go page out WWF playbook where you just like do something like the hardcore championship belt where it was the normal championship but just like broken and looking like shit. That would have been something.
Or even do it how when the NWO won the championship.
Oh, just spray paint over
Hulk
it.
Hogan, he just freaking got spray paint.
No,
The spray paint
no.
BMF
What it really should have been was like the John Cena belt. They should have made BMF a fucking spinner in the middle of the belt.
I was literally just about to say that. I was gonna say that. Just the good old WWE
Dude,
freaking heavyweight belt, bro.
give me
That's
my
the champion
spinny belt,
That's
baby.
fine.
That's what. Hey, everyone's calling this some WWE shit, but honestly, WWE shit is fun. If we're being real.
It really breathed some new life into the sport. I mean, after the whole Connor debacle for the past year, 2 years, the sport's kind of been looking for the next kind of superstars to step up, and so far it's kind of shown to be Izzy. You know, Masvidal is stepping in there. Nate Diaz is making his return.
It's not just about
maybe
the fight anymore. It's about the entertainment right now too.
Yeah,
you got to be able to fight and back it up. It's what you have to be able to do. And I feel like if you can't cut, pretty much like at the WWE, if you can't cut a promo, your fighting really doesn't matter. And if you can't fight, your promo doesn't really matter. I feel like you need to do both to be in the top.
That's why one of the best fighters in the world right now is the best entertainer. That's Tyson Fury. That dude knows how to put on a
definitely.
Show. He knows how to make.
And definitely even Deontay Wilder. He's not the more like flashy, but he can still cut a promo.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking throws bombs.
Right.
So.
So my thing with this though, with the bad motherfucker belt is, does this travel to any weight class? Is this gonna be?
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
Whoever holds the belt. Is this like a 1-of-1 belt? That's just
on the belt it actually says 1-of-1.
Yeah.
So that's going to travel to each person.
Yeah, it also says UFC 244 and 500 for the 500th UFC event. So this does seem like a one-off thing, but that's.
Do you think this is even going to be continued? Then, do you think this is going to be over with?
I think it'd be over with. I think it won't be an official belt if Diaz and Masvidal do run it back. I feel like between them, it's going to be for the belt again. But I think all in all, I don't think the UFC is going to promote it as a belt.
That's kind of why I wanted to bring it to, because this fight, for most of you guys will know.
I think that's a mistake.
Really, you do? All right, we'll bring that up in a second. But what happened is that the fight was called to a stop after the third round due to a big ass cut over the right eye
Big
of
ass
Nate
cut.
Diaz. Did you guys see the pictures of the stitches he had put in
Yeah,
afterward?
definitely. That was crazy.
That was a lot of damn stitches. But even with his doctor stoppage, this was seemingly something Jorge was going to win. He dropped Diaz 3 times, and he was looking good.
Yeah.
It's looking damn good.
It's just I understand everyone's frustration with it ending in doctor stoppage. You never want to fight in doctor stoppage,
Let alone the
and then
belt for the
definitely,
baddest motherfucker ending in a
yeah,
doctor stoppage.
and definitely seeing knowing Nate Diaz, you know he has a lot of scar tissue on his face, and he bleeds really easily, and gets cuts really easily.
Also,
but
it
it's
doesn't
kind
help
of
that he doesn't block shit.
It doesn't block shit at all. But it's kind of like the fairness of the UFC. You want to keep things fair, and even though a lot of people are saying, "Oh, you should know the fighter, you should know Nate Diaz bleeds like that," but as a doctor going into the fight, that's not what you're thinking about. You're thinking about all in all health in general. If you see a dude get haymakered and his head spins in a circle, you're not gonna be like, "Oh, that's Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz could take a punch like that." You're just gonna be like, "That's a human being in there, and there's a lot of blood in there right now."
Yeah, that'd be some Mario Yamasaki type shit.
Yeah. So it's I understand
and watching someone get their ass beat, not do anything about it.
Yeah, pretty much. But it's just I understand you want to be like, oh, it's Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz does this, but at the same time, it can't be like that because then it gets unfair. Because then you see a dude who doesn't take a lot of hits and gets knocked out, and he gets hit once, and we stop the fight, and he's like, "What?" And you're like, "Oh, you have a history of not being able to take shots."
Right.
That's when it starts becoming unfair. When you give people unfair advantages, when it's, "Oh, he knows how to take a shot, so I'm gonna give him longer to recover."
Yeah.
So I see why it was fight. Obviously, as a fan, you don't want to see it, so you're not going to agree with it. But in general, if that happened to anybody else, I think we wouldn't be complaining. So. I think in all fairness of the fight, I think it was the right call to make.
Yeah, that's for Blake. Your thoughts on this one?
I'm on the complete opposite side for sure. I think the fight should have kept going. There's no way you stop the baddest motherfucker goddamn fight due to a cut.
See, what they should have done is change the rules. They should have gone back to the UFC 1 rules, where the fight will only be stopped after someone actually gets knocked out or someone's corner throws in the white towel.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the fight. I don't think the result would have changed had the fight gone another 2 rounds. But you don't know. You don't know for sure what would have happened. I mean, you finally saw Jorge getting a little bit winded towards the end of that 3rd round. You never know what Nate Diaz can put together in 10 minutes.
Fight,
I mean,
Diaz did say that his game plan
pressure.
was going to go all out for the 4th and 5th too.
Yeah, so I mean, he never got to go. He never got to go for his final sprint, and he's a marathon. He's not just a marathon. He's like a triathlon.
Yeah, that guy is cardio. Maybe except for this fight, though, because so you see that he did have the knee injury that he said limited his cardio ability.
Yeah.
Yep. But I mean, and no excuses for that either. I mean, everyone goes into the fight not 100%. No. So I mean, it's like that sucks dick. Like whatever. I'm sure Jorge was fucking dealing with his own shit. But the fact of the matter is, Nate, like you guys were talking about earlier, is he, for whatever fucking reason, loves to get hit, and he's been hit.
Stupid.
He's been hit too many times now in his career, especially with a guy that's not as small as McGregor was. He was able to get in those wars with McGregor because McGregor's not as big of a dude as Masvidal is. Masvidal is a bigger dude than McGregor by far. He's a bigger dude than Nate. He looked like the bigger dude, even though Nate's listed as 6 foot, and Masvidal's 5'10", 5'11".
Yeah.
So Masvidal looked like the bigger, stouter dude in the octagon on Saturday night. So, Nate couldn't get away with taking those huge, devastating blows like he could against Conor McGregor. I mean, Conor McGregor bloodied him up, but he didn't fucking cut a gaping vagina hole in his fucking eyebrow.
Definitely.
Oh, you can't say that.
I think one good thing that Joe Rogan pointed out was not who was it? It wasn't. I don't think it was Joe Rogan, but one of the announcers pointed out was, as a fighter, if you get cut early, which the cut happened really, really early in the fight, you have to know, no matter who you are, when you get cut, you have to start going now. You either have to end the fight or keep shit going. Yep. And I understand that he is a 4th and 5th round fighter, but he got cut in the first, and the cut got worse for another 2 rounds. And so when you get cut that early and you start bleeding that early, you start have to, if you're going to protect any spot, protect that cut. Like, I don't care if you let everything else get hit or another cut opens up that's not as bad. The fight could have kept going, I think, if he at least just protected that cut. But he let the cut keep getting worse and worse and worse. And at that point, it comes down to the fact that as a fighter, it doesn't always come down to just the fight. You also have to have the knowledge of fighting. Exactly. And if you get cut that early and you're bleeding like that, you have to know the doctor can step in at any time and end this. Doctor could have stepped in the first round and ended it how bad that cut was.
But if we're just talking about the doctor, I think it's time for all 3 of us and for everyone listening to this at home to put on the tinfoil hats, because it's conspiracy theory time, bitches.
No.
Yes. Yes.
Nate's just got to remember he's in the fucking organized.
Here we go. I got one.
Yeah, this isn't a street fight.
So what's happening? It's not a street fight. Is that you had the New York State Athletic Commission, who historically has been the. I'll say it. They've been the shittiest commission in the entire U.S. Also,
they do have some of the stricter rules.
Mm-hmm. They are known for being a bunch of douchebags and assholes, and everyone saw the controversy saying that Nate was tested positive for tainted supplements, even though he said that
USADA.
Yeah, USADA, but it works with the fight commission. We all know they all get paid like that.
They do.
And so it was the doctor that is hired and approved by the New York State Athletic Commission, and that was just the way of the commission getting back at DIaz for beating USADA, but they wouldn't let him.
Yeah, I mean, that's how they got. You could say that. You could say that, but at the same time, in what sense can you think that they're like, okay, Nate's gonna get cut open so bad that you're gonna go in there and stop the fight? Because honestly, in my opinion, if that was the goal, you stop that in the second round, because he got cut really, really early in the fight, and he was leaking. I think he was bleeding the most in the second. But yeah, I see it. But at the same time, I just honestly think it was more the fact of what was to come. I think the doctor stopped it because he's like, look, you keep getting hit in that spot. It's keep getting open more and more. There's still 2 full rounds. It's only going to get worse. I can't come in the middle of a round. So I think the doctor at that point was like, you just keep getting hit and you're not defending yourself. It's kind of like when the ref warns you, hey, you don't block yourself, I'm going to stop the fight. Mm-hmm. It was kind of a moment like that. It's like, look, well, you're not defending the biggest cut on your body right now. I can't let you keep fighting, because let's say they let him keep fighting, and then a week from the fight, Diaz is like, I can't see out of my right eye anymore. Now everyone's like, oh, that's a terrible ref, terrible doctor. They should have stopped the fight.
No, that's just bisping then, but not as cool.
But I just think in general, obviously, because this is what happened, we're going to see it as a negative. But I think if it would have kept going and Diaz loses the eyesight, or his side of his face fucking falling off, I think it gives Nate a chance to fight another day.
Yeah.
It's just all in all in the fight game.
And shit anyway. But
yeah, if you want to fight like that,
as it went though, before it stopped, it was still a pretty damn good fight.
Definitely, it was a great fight. But my opinion is, if you wanted to fight like that and be cut open and stuff, go fight in bare knuckle. They let you do shit like that.